Hey guys, it's me. It's fall. What are you guys doing at home? You should be out skipping a Senko, catching big ones. Give me 5 minutes, I'll show you how it's done. Hey, Anthony Douglas here, ADE Fishing, Common Man's fishing site, fishing channel. Look, this is to help you guys get a little bit better in your tournament situation. I have got a bait that works, I swear. When I say all year round, brother, I mean all year around. I'm using a June bug right now. I've got a June bug Senko tied on this darn thing. Now, you'll hear people say Senko, and Senko is pretty simple. Gary Yamamoto made the Senko way back in the day, and I swear everything after that is a copy of his. It's basically the perfectly round worm, flat on one end, pointed on the other. But the way this thing sinks, right now I've got it set up wacky rig, but the way that it sinks, it does this all the way down. And it just flaps its wings all the way down. And for those large bass who are used to fast-moving lures and things like that, or a little more skittish and aren't the first guy to jump out there and bite the first thing that swims by, this thing right here is deadly. It works in grass edges, it works on fallen trees, stumps. I've got a Gamakatsu wacky rig hook on this right now that has a weed guard on it. I put a weed guard on mine because, you know, it helps me get in and out of the grass without getting too crazy. But it'll get caught. It'll get caught. Don't get twisted. It'll get caught. It just won't get caught as much. This will definitely deflect off of wood. Sometimes, gotta be honest with you, sometimes you might catch a piece of wood. But don't be scurry. Get in there. Change colors. Colors that seem to work. Greens, pumpkin, watermelon, motor oil. This is June bug. You can go with black, you can go with blue. Guys will always tell you something different about the gold fleck or purple fleck or green fleck or whatever. It's up to you, try it. But what you have to do is you have to skip this under docks. You have to reach under tree limbs where people don't fish. That's where you're catching fish, and you'll catch big ones. And you have to make sure of one thing. When you toss it under there, you watch the line. It'll sink real slow, and you'll be like, oh my God, this is taking forever. And it goes down, and it goes down. And then all of a sudden, you'll see it stop. Or you'll see the line start moving left or right, you know? And if that be the case, lay the wood to them. Bring home the big ones. You can skip a Senko, and that's what makes this so famous. Everybody likes to skip Senkos. Skipping 101. This is the lure you start with. Okay, if we're going to start with any lures, start with this one, because this one, you can skip this 100 miles. As far as you can throw it with your rod, you know, is as far as it'll fly. For me, I keep it pretty simple. I've got my McCain tied on. I've got a Sahara 2500 FE on here. I like the 2500 because it holds a lot more line, and I'm way too lazy to be retying all the darn time. But with a nice, this is a good drop shot rod. This is the drop shot special from McCain rods. But get yourself a good rod, a good reel, and you too can be a skipping pro. You can get out there and just skip to your heart's content. The key to skipping is real simple. Make sure when you swing the rod, you keep the rod tip low to the water, and I mean low to the water. I myself like to make sure that I keep the bait fairly close to the tip of the rod, but you don't have to. There are a lot of guys who are really good at you know, kind of doing the lasso rope-a-dope thing, but you have to make sure. Gerald Swindell said these words: don't be a one-sided guy. Don't just be throwing from the right and clockwise, doing it looking like a pro, and then when it comes to doing backhand, you suck butt cheeks. So practice. Make sure you practice both ways. This is what's going to make you win tournaments. This is what's going to make you win tournaments. If you can get this in the places where nobody else can get it, shazam, you're doing big things. So, Senko, let's get out here and try and skip it. Cool? Cool. So guys, what we're looking at is real simple. I'm looking at docks, I'm looking at trees, I'm looking at all of it. You see the overhanging trees, you see the rock wall over here, you see it all. So we have like 3 things right here: a rock wall, trees, and docks. We are targeting all 3 of them. So basically, when you come up to a dock, you have to look at it a little funny. There's multiple ways to work a dock. When you get to the dock, you got to look at it and think through it. Is it a complex dock? Is it a simple dock? Is it a tall dock or a short dock? And you're trying to shoot multiple angles. So you want to shoot it multiple times from multiple directions. You want to try and hit every post possible. You want to hit as far back as you possibly can, and make sure that you let the bait do the work. So when you shoot in the back of the docks, just keep your eyes on the line and make sure you understand that, hey, the line might start moving, and if it does start moving, set the hook. You never know. You might catch the big one. Then again, you might catch a little one. Cute little guy. Well, thank you for playing. Smallmouth. Boop. So as you approach vegetation that overhangs the water, kind of peep it out. Take a look at it, see what's there. Skip it. I like to work from the outside in. I don't necessarily like to shoot all the way back to the back first time, but you know what? Get back there. Get back into the thick of it, and don't be afraid to get stuck. You may not catch something every time, but when you do catch something, you should be holding on. When you come up to complex docks, this is a complex dock that you're working on right now, and you can see because it's got multiple bodies with a slew for the boat, and you work the back, work the sides, work the front, and in this situation I'm going to work as many posts as I can from as many different angles as I can, from shallow to deep, deep to shallow. I decided to come around the dock on this one and just work the side of the dock and shoot up the side to the posts, and work each post and move a little shallower. You'd be surprised how big the fish are and how shallow the water they're in. So I hope that helps you on how to skip Senkos. You can skip more than just a Senko. You can skip tube baits, you can skip jigs, you can skip all kinds of stuff. This is the easiest way to start, with an open face reel and a good rod and a Senko. They skip the best. Unlike some of the other baits, you have to put a little more technique to them, but once you get this down, you're really comfortable, you will tie on a tube bait and you will skip a tube bait 100 miles. And then you'll go to your bait casting reel and you'll start skipping jigs and you'll start skipping, other lures that other people aren't skipping, and then you'll really be catching fish. As far as this goes, let's start here. Keep it simple, but this is something you should have in your box. You should definitely have this in your repertoire, and you should have it tournament day. This should be tied on. You should get out there with one of these darn things, and you should be confident when you throw it. And if you go out and catch some fish with it, you will be confident when you throw it. So just to recap, real simple, just make sure that your rod tip, when you're swinging this thing, make sure your rod tip is low to the water as you possibly can. You basically want that lure flying parallel to the water. So when it hits the water, it is literally skipping like a rock, and it will zing, zing, zing. It'll go for a long, long, long time. As far as you can throw it, that's as far as you can skip it. And it'll scare the skin off you when it happens, but hey, when you get good at it, you'll be confident. And make sure you work your backhand. Don't just be the forehand guy, only skipping from the right to left. If you're left-handed, go in the other direction, but make sure you backhand it too, and learn how to be able to fit that lure backwards and be able to skip it backwards. It's a must-have. This is a must throw. So, if you like what I'm putting down, guys, hit the like button. If you're new and you want to see some more content like this, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be dropping something every 2 weeks. So, if you want to find any of the gear that we're throwing here, if you want to find the lures or anything like that, I'm going to make sure I put it on my other website, so adefishinggear.com. Instead of listing it all out in the description so you have to go through each individual hyperlink, I'm just going to put it on adefishinggear.com. You can find it there. You can quickly click through and go through wherever you want to go to and buy whatever it is you need. But like I said, guys, I'm going to be putting something every 2 weeks. If you like this, like it, you want to see more, subscribe. But until then, I'll see you in 2. Go fishing.